Assalamualaikum dan selamat petang. Saya Syuhada daripada MWCQP, Malaysian Women's Coalition for Al-Quds and Palestine. Pada hari ini, insyaAllah kita akan mendengar perkongsian daripada brother Palestin kita yang menetap di Malaysia, iaitu brother Muslim Imran. So, insyaAllah sebentar lagi saya akan memperkenalkan biodata brother Muslim. Terima kasih kepada semua yang menyertai kami. InsyaAllah sharing session ni adalah dalam bentuk yang santai dan kita akan membuat perkongsian yang pendeklah sempena Isra Mi'raj. InsyaAllah. Okay, tajuk kita pada hari ini, so it will be in English. So the topic that we're going to discuss today is actually Al-Aqsa, where all the prophets gathered. And our speaker today is brother Muslim Imran. He is the chairman of PCOM, Palestinian Cultural Organization Malaysia. And he has a PhD from University Malaya in Strategic and International Studies, specialization in Malaysia and Malaysian foreign policy. So without further ado, Brother Imran, the stage is yours.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good evening to you all. Salam Isra Mi'raj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala an yaj'al hadhihi al-layla layla mubarakah. We are commemorating a very important event in the Islamic calendar, the remembrance of the extraordinary journey that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took from the city of Mecca to the city of Jerusalem, and then the journey that he took to heavens. Now, this journey is remembered as well because it's the day on which Al-Aqsa and Jerusalem were liberated by Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi hundreds of years later. The talk that we're going to have tonight is going to be brief. We are going to focus on the incident of Al-Isra al-Mi'raj, the meaning of Al-Isra al-Mi'raj, and some reflections on this important Islamic event, the position of Al-Aqsa and Jerusalem or Baytul Maqdis in Islam, as well as the current situation in the holy city of Jerusalem and in the holy sacred mosque of Al-Aqsa. And finally, we will highlight what roles Muslims, the Ummah, and the international community can play in protecting these holy places and defending their sanctity from Israeli violations. Now, I would like to, first of all, thank the organizers, the Malaysian Women Coalition, for their initiative, because this kind of programs facilitate the mobilization of efforts for Al-Aqsa Mosque, for Jerusalem, for Palestine, and for these issues of humanitarian dimension. Many would think that talks might not have a large impact on reality on the ground, but I would believe otherwise. In Arabic, we say even war starts with words. So a lot can be done with talks, words, and understanding. If we don't comprehend the essence of any issue, it will be very difficult for us to take a stand on it. And if we don't stand up for something, as Malcolm X said, we'll fall for anything. So we will all stand for the issue of Jerusalem, for Al-Aqsa, for Palestine, but let's go through the significance of the Isra and Mi'raj. This holy night was the night in which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, traveled by night from the holy city of Mecca to the holy city of Jerusalem. Now, Prophet Muhammad was according to most historians, was in his 11th or 12th year of Bi'thah, of the start of his message. He has just started to preach Islam publicly in Mecca and in Arabia. The previous year was a sad year in which he lost Khadija, his wife, who stood by his side throughout his struggle. He lost his uncle Abu Talib, who was a protector and a guardian in a way. And it was also the year in which the sad, unfortunate visit to Ta'if took place, in which the people of Ta'if, instead of celebrating the visit of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, attacked him and tried to undermine his mission. Now, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was going through these tough times, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him and the whole ummah a message that in spite of difficulty, there is hope. So right after the loss of Khadija, Abu Talib, and the failure in Ta'if to spread the message of peace, the message of Islam, the Prophet ﷺ was granted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this holy trip from the city of Mecca to the city of Jerusalem. The Prophet ﷺ took Al-Buraq, which the angel Gabriel brought along. He traveled in an extraordinary trip, and once he was in Jerusalem, he met with other prophets and he led the prayer in the city of Jerusalem. Later, he ascended to heaven, where he met senior prophets, and he returned to earth with the holy commandment of the 5 prayers a day. So this trip of Isra and Mi'raj is very extraordinary. It is very special in the Islamic calendar and in Islamic spirituality as well. It was the night in which earth and heaven were connected, and the terminal from which this journey took place was Jerusalem. The connection took place in the holy city of Jerusalem. It was a journey that came after tough times in Mecca and Ta'if. So it was, in a way, a message of hope from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to his prophet, that in spite of difficulty, there will always be ease. Inna ma'al usri yusra. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam traveled in a journey by night, as recorded in Surah Al-Isra. Subhana alladhi asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa alladhi barakna hawlah. The Prophet traveled by night in this extraordinary journey to the city of Jerusalem, where he ascended to heaven. And once he returned to Mecca, some of his followers rejected the authenticity of this story, and therefore then the number of his followers was reduced temporarily. But there was a hikmah, there was a wisdom behind this, because only a few months later, the important journey of hijrah, migration from Mecca to Medina, took place, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to choose the right people to accompany the Prophet to the new Islamic center of civilization in Medina. When Abu Bakr as-Siddiq received this story and asked the Prophet whether about its details, he was very quick to say, even before meeting the Prophet, that if he has mentioned that he traveled in this trip, then it is true, and he was accorded the title of a Siddiq for believing this important story. Now, let's look at some of the significant meanings of this journey of Isra and Mi'raj. The journey of Isra, in which the Prophet traveled from Mecca to Jerusalem, and the journey of Mi'raj, in which the Prophet ascended to heaven. Number one, Islam is a message of peace that took an international dimension as early as the year of Isra and Mi'raj. So Islam, the message of rahmah, the message of peace, did not come to the people of Mecca only, or to the people of Arabia. Jerusalem by that time was occupied by the Byzantines. So the message of Islam, the message of peace, was conveyed as early as the year of Isra and Mi'raj to another part of human civilization back then, the city of Jerusalem. And Muslims should, based upon this, realize that they carry a noble mission which is not reserved to Muslims alone. It's a message for all mankind. It's a message of peace, a message of rahmah, a message of spirituality, a message of kindness, a message of success and glory to all mankind. And the Prophet ﷺ narrated stories about his visit to heaven to his followers, which anyone can now access in books of seerah and books of Islamic history. And among these stories was the commissioning of salat. So salat, prayer, daily prayers for Muslims were also commissioned during this trip, this important trip. So individual spirituality was given a global dimension. When the Prophet ﷺ came back with the commandment of prayer, it was very clear that an individual's faith is not complete unless he or she is connected to the environment, the society, the global society in which he or she is living, and to the community of believers as well. The individual spirituality, in my understanding, is connected to the city of Jerusalem itself. So this gives another dimension of the sacredness of the city of Jerusalem, that the city was mentioned, or the journey in which occurred in the city was mentioned in Al-Quran, in Surah Al-Isra, and the journey of Mi'raj was mentioned in Surah Al-Najm. But also, not only that, but also our individual prayers, which we do on daily basis, were commissioned during the trip, the journey that took place in Jerusalem and from Jerusalem to heaven. Now, this makes the city of Jerusalem a center of peace, a center of mercy, a center of rahmah for all mankind, just like the message of Islam itself. So no peace will prevail in this world as long as the city of peace, the city of mercy, is being denied peace. What we see today, the injustice, the occupation, the oppression that takes place in Jerusalem is telling the whole world that it's difficult to achieve international peace as long as the center of peace is denied this justice and peace. Another significant reflection on the journey of Isra and Mi'raj is that the significance of Jerusalem was given another dimension in this journey of Isra and Mi'raj. Now, we all know that the city of Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa Mosque have their own holy nature, but after the trip of Isra and Mi'raj, more dimensions were added to the position that Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa, Bayt al-Maqdis and Al-Masjid al-Aqsa enjoy in Islam. This brings us to the status of Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa Mosque in Islam. We all know that Al-Masjid al-Aqsa is the second mosque to be built on this earth. It's the first Qibla for Muslims. The Prophet and believers used to pray for a few years towards Jerusalem before the change of Qibla to Mecca. Al-Aqsa is the third holiest place in Islam, and it is, as we have just mentioned, the terminal that connects earth to heaven. But in addition to this status, the city of Jerusalem itself enjoys a special status and a special position in Islam, and it enjoys a special position, of course, in all monotheistic religions. It's a city of peace, the meeting point of all monotheistic religions. It's the city where the Prophet of peace, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, led all other prophets in worship and subjugation towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bayt al-Maqdis, or Jerusalem, is a blessed territory. It's a sacred territory, as mentioned in different places in Al-Quran. The verse in Surah Al-Isra, which talks about Al-Masjid al-Aqsa, الذي باركنا حوله. So the whole region is blessed. And another position in Al-Quran which talks about Al-Ard al-Muqaddasa, the holy land or the sacred land. So Jerusalem itself, not only the city, not only the masjid, the mosque of Al-Aqsa is holy, but Jerusalem itself is holy, and it's the land of ribat, as many traditions of the Prophet have narrated. It's the land of struggle and jihad until the day of judgment, and it is finally the cultural and civilizational center for all Muslims across the world. And it's in fact a global center of culture and civilization. The Umayyads, who ruled Jerusalem for decades, made the city one of the most significant urban centers in their empire. The Abbasids continued this tradition, and following empires carried on and built on the same tradition. Now, having known that Jerusalem, Al-Aqsa, and Palestine enjoy this position in Islam, as well as the beautiful and important position they enjoy in Christianity as well. This brings us to the current situation in Jerusalem. So what is going on in the holy place of Al-Aqsa? What's going on in Jerusalem? What is even going on in the sacred Christian places of worship, like the Church of Holy Sepulchre, Kanis al-Qiyamah, and other holy places in Jerusalem? It's not a secret that Israel has continued to occupy the city of Jerusalem for decades. It continues to occupy the western part of Jerusalem since 1948, and it has taken over Jerusalem in 1967 and continues to occupy it. But it was not only political and military takeover of the city of Jerusalem, it's the cultural imposition of a new identity over the city of Jerusalem that takes place now. If we look at what's happening in Bayt al-Maqdis or Jerusalem, Israel continues to deny Palestinians access to the city of Jerusalem. Many Palestinians in Jerusalemites are being forced out of the city. Their ICs, their identity cards are being cancelled by the Israeli authorities. The policy is to reduce the Arab Palestinian population of the city of Jerusalem and to increase the Jewish population. So a full-fledged policy of Judaization is taking place in the city of Jerusalem by the Israeli occupation authorities. Restrictions on Palestinians take place. Demolition of Palestinian homes continues to take place, and other forms of restrictions. But that's not only limited to the city of Jerusalem. It extends to the Al-Aqsa Mosque itself, Haram al-Sharif, the holy mosque of Al-Aqsa, which is supposed to enjoy a special position of respect by everyone, just like we all respect places of worship all over the world. It is logical to see that any authorities taking responsibility of Jerusalem will respect the sanctity and the holiness of Al-Aqsa Mosque. But unfortunately, this is not happening. Israel continues to violate the sanctity of Al-Aqsa Mosque, desecrating the mosque, sending in groups of settlers every day to undermine the sanctity of Al-Aqsa Mosque. They continue to deny most Palestinians access to Al-Aqsa Mosque. They continue to proceed with their plans of spatial and temporal division of Al-Aqsa Mosque. The plan is to do what was done in the Abraham Mosque, Al-Masjid Al-Ibrahimi in the city of Khalil al-Rahman, Hebron. Years back, decades ago, Israel successfully managed to impose a system in which the Abraham Mosque was divided into two parts, one for the Jewish settlers to pray, one for the Muslims to pray, and they are trying to do the same now in Al-Aqsa Mosque. Daily attacks on Al-Aqsa take place. The situation of Corona pandemic made it difficult for Palestinians to access Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, and the Israeli authorities took advantage of this pandemic to claim that due to health concerns, they are restricting Palestinian movement into the mosque. They are imposing more measures to control who comes in and out of the mosque. They continue to detain Palestinian congregation, administrative officers of Al-Aqsa Mosque, Palestinian and Jordanian authority officers who take care of Al-Aqsa Mosque continue to be detained by Israeli authorities and to be denied access to Al-Aqsa Mosque. And we all know what is happening to Sheikh Ra'id Salah, the Sheikh of Al-Aqsa, the man who dedicated his life for Al-Aqsa Mosque. He is himself being detained by Israel and denied access to Al-Aqsa Mosque. The same applies to Sheikh Ikrimah Sabri, the chairman of the High Arab Committee, one of the most established Palestinian institutions to protect the city of Jerusalem. He himself is being denied access to Jerusalem. What happened years earlier when Israel denied members of parliament, Palestinian members of parliament, access to their own constituency, the city of Jerusalem, and they were deported. Many more developments continue to take place now. The governments in Israel are being run by extremist right-wing groups, which aim to demolish Al-Aqsa Mosque and to build a temple of Solomon, on the same spot of Al-Aqsa Mosque. And it actually fascinates me how narrow-minded these groups are. They claim that a temple existed on the same spot a few thousand years ago, and they have no other spot, no other position to build their temple except on Al-Aqsa Mosque, in spite of their failure to provide any archaeological proofs of their claim. But they will continue to carry on with these measures. Israel is a state that was built on lies, it was built on myths, and it was built by European colonial powers to further divide the region and to further dominate the region by having this colonial outpost in the heart of the Arab and Muslim world. So Israel will certainly continue in its extremist policies. It was aided by the American administration of President Trump. We thought that President Biden would have better policies, but unfortunately he changed many of America's foreign policies, except those related to the issue of Palestine and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, where Biden endorsed every Trump policy in spite of the international outcry. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, to cut it short, this is the situation in Al-Aqsa and Jerusalem. And we are commemorating Al-Isra and Mi'raj. We are commemorating one of the most important days in the Islamic calendar, which deals with Jerusalem. So I do believe that our faith is incomplete unless we do something to protect the sanctity of Al-Aqsa, the sanctity of Bayt al-Maqdis, and to help end the injustice that continues to take place in Palestine and in the city of Jerusalem. Again, I would like to thank the organizers, to thank Malaysia's Women Coalition for their initiative. It's a good move that important events are commemorated and celebrated. And just like the troops of Salahuddin al-Ayyubi some centuries ago were able to end the Crusader occupation, which lasted for decades in Jerusalem, I'm very sure and very certain that our Ummah is still alive, and one day soon we will all enjoy the liberation of Al-Aqsa Mosque, the city of Jerusalem. Islamic and Christian sanctuaries will be free once again for people to worship in freedom and dignity, and the Israeli apartheid system will collapse and its occupation of Palestine will end very soon. So thank you very much for this initiative, and I would like to wish you all a very happy and blessed Isra and Mi'raj commemoration. جزاكم الله خيرا وكل عام وأنتم بخير. Back to you, Shuhada.
Waiyaki, Brother Imran. So Alhamdulillah, it's a very short and sweet discussion or sharing session, a very short and sweet sharing session. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for the sharing. And to know more, to all our participants who are listening, or our audience who are listening, to know more, we are actually doing on 27th March on Saturday, 3 to 6:30 p.m. We're going to do ICP-KL. It's a free international webinar. The title is Millennia of Cultural and Heritage. So it's free. You just go on the link on the comment section and just register there. Do join us. During ICP-KL, we will tell more, and there will be more speakers telling about Palestine and their culture. The three main topics that are going to be discussed is actually home demolition and eviction, also about olive trees, and the last one is actually there will be a demo. So if you guys like to cook and you want to know what other Palestinians are eating or what are their heritage cooks, so just come and join us. There is a QR code, there is also a link. So do come and join us to know more about the Palestinian, and inshallah, all of us going to be together to liberate our Quds. So thank you so much everyone for joining. Thank you so much Brother Imran for your sharing session. Hope to see you again next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.